Hello everyone, good morning. So today we will start the fourth chapter of your book, that is basic geometrical ideas. So before starting off the exercises, let's just understand what exactly the concept is so that you can able to do the sums very easily as well as quickly. So without wasting any further time, let's start. So before going to the concepts, let's just understand what exactly this word means, that is geometry, or you can say geometrical. Both are same, relatable, right? So geometry means what? What does geometry mean? Geometry is the branch of mathematics where we study about surfaces, where we study about shapes, angles, sizes of different quantities. For example, a ball. For example, this pen. It is what type of shape it is? The cylindrical shape. Like that way, different instruments have different shapes. Focusing on this particular chapter, we will be talking about only two-dimensional geometrical parts. So what does two-dimensional geometrical parts mean? It means where in a surface we can draw these figures, where we can draw the figures in a particular surface. That means these figures are called as two-dimensional figures. For example, circle, triangle, a line. Later on you will get to know this type of definitions, what exactly triangle mean, or you can say what exactly a line mean, ray means, line segment mean, right? Primarily we can focus on the two-dimensional figures. What does two-dimensional figure mean? Where we can draw these figures in a plane surface. So what does a plane surface means? Plane surface means this area is smooth area which is independently spread towards both the sides. If we are talking about only this part, it is spreading toward this part as well as this part as well as this part as well as this part. So that means it is a plane surface. For example, your book. For example, if I am talking about this book, there is also a plane surface. This is also a plane surface. This surface, it is a plane surface, right? So there are different types of surfaces also, where some are smooth surface, some are rough surface, right? So where we can actually, let's just say, if I just fix my hand and if I want to drag my hand over there, so there is less resistance which is coming out. So resistance means what? Less barrier which is coming out, right? I can easily move my hand. But if I want to drag my hand on a road, let's say, on a road, so dragging my hand, it will create some barrier. So that means a road is called a rough surface. On comparison with the rough surface, this surface is smooth surface. I think the plane surface or smooth surface or rough surface is clear to you all. So now let's just understand what exactly point means. What is the first topic of this particular chapter, that is called as point. If I just give you one example, let's say we often said, let me just pick up, you can pick up me from that particular point. From that particular point. Let's say someone is there in our school and your parents wants to pick up you from the school. So what can you say? What will you say? That mummy or papa, you can pick up me from Don Bosco point, or you can say Don Bosco gate. So that marking is nothing but called as a point, which is denoted by this particular mark. This is called as point, right? Where the things will start, where the different types of figure will start as a initial point, you can say. This is the initial mark which is called as a point. I hope this concept is clear to you. And after that, what is the definition point of view of point? A point is a mark of a location. So this is the first definition, or you can say the first concept of this particular chapter. Later on, let's just move on to our next part, that is called as collinear points. Collinear points. collinear point or collinear point mean? Collinear point mean, let's say, if I'm giving you two examples will be given, let's say this one and this one. Is there any difference that you find out? Is there any difference that you find out in this two particular example? Yes, there is certain difference. What is the difference? The first example is actually talking about random points which could be situated anywhere. Let's say first, second, third, fourth, or I can start from here also, right? But in this example, these points are aligned. These points are aligned, right? First, second, third, fourth, right? So this type of points are called as collinear points. This type of points are known as collinear points. So that means when we are talking about collinear points, that means the points which lie on a line. So what does the next concept will be? So right now when we are approaching towards the concept, later on different types of segments are also opening up. What exactly I just told right now, that when we are talking about collinear points means what? Three or more points which are aligned in a line, So first of all let's just write down the definition of collinear points. So this is the example of collinear points and this is the definition, that is three or more points that lie on a same line are called as collinear points. So let's just understand the next part, what exactly line means, and before line let's just understand what exactly line segment means. Line segment. So line segment is nothing but the part of a line which has two end points. The part of a line which has two end points. For example, this one, and it stops over this two particular points. So these two particular points are the end points of this particular line. So that's why that is called as line segment, the part of a line. So what does the next concept will be, what does line mean? So what does line means? Line is a line segment. It is also a line segment which is open from both the ends. So that means when we are talking about these two ends, so that means it is open. Open means what? It keeps going. It is not stopping. So for that instance, how will I know that what is the distinction of this particular two figures? When we are giving two arrows to both the ends, because there is no end basically. So that's why we just put two arrows over here, and it actually signifies that the line, it is not stopped. It just keep moving from right hand side as well as towards left. So that is the definition of line. So let's just move on to our next part, that is called as ray. So what does ray means? Ray is a line segment which is open at only one point. So that means it is also a line segment, but it is only open from one end. So let's say if I just fix this particular point, end point, so it is open over right side, and if I just fix the right side, it is opening towards left side. So that is the total definitions of point, collinear points, line segments, line and ray. So later on we will move on to the next concepts of this particular chapter. So the next concept is what is the relation between line and points. So if you just observe a line, this is a line, this is a line, and it is actually created by infinite points. Infinite means what? There is no such counting which is left over. So that means if you put crores of points, so that is not at all infinite. If you put 10 crores, so that means we do not assign any word. We cannot assign any word that exactly how many it is. So for that instance, we usually use that word that is called as infinite, where the counting stops. We cannot count. We can't even count. So that is the meaning of infinite. So infinite means what? What exactly I just told, that there could be infinite points. For that, this, let's say, right now I'm giving the gaps, but in between the gaps also there are also points. So if you just observe this particular figure which I am actually drawing right now, it exactly creating what? It exactly creating line. It exactly creating line, because it will not stop from any of the points or any of the endpoints. So that means it will keep going on from both the ends, and that exactly the relation between a line and a point. So what exactly, how will I write it? So let's just see. An infinite number of lines can be drawn, or you can say the first point could be a line is formed by infinite number of points. That is the first part. That is the first part. And what is the second point? What is the second point of the relation? Let's just understand. If I just fix one point over here, and if I want to make how many lines can be possible by using this particular point. So this is the first part, one line, second, which is passing through this particular point, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9. So like that way I cannot actually draw more than 12 or 13 because it will become hazy. So you can actually understand that when I am talking about passing through a given point, how many lines can be passed through this particular point. So that means the answer will be infinite. So that's why I have to write this statement or this relation as, let me just write down this relation as an infinite numbers of lines can be drawn through a given point, right? An infinite number of lines can be drawn through a given point. So let's just understand the last point of this relation. If I give you 2 points, let's say, and right now my question is, you have to draw as many lines as you can on your own. Let's just see, passing through these 2 points, how many lines can be drawn? What will be your answer? What will be your answer when I'm talking about how many lines can be drawn which exactly passes through these 2 points? What will be your answer? So the answer could be very easy. The answer is only one line, this one. And any other line can't be drawn if I want to pass through these 2 points. So that means only one unique line can be drawn when there is a condition to pass the line through 2 given points. So what will be the statement? The statement will be like, through 2 different points, through 2 different points, only one unique line can be drawn which passes through these 2 points. As simple as that, right? Through 2 different points, only one unique line can be drawn which passes through these 2 points. So that is the relationship between line and a point. So let's just understand the next 3 concepts, and later on we will move on to the exercise part. Alright, so let's just understand the last 3 concepts of exercise before doing exercise 4A. So what is the first point? That is intersecting lines. Sorry, I just written intersecting points. Intersecting lines. Intersecting line means what? When 2 lines, these 2 lines, when 2 lines have only one common point, between 2 lines there is only one common point which is associated. Let's say this 2 lines are being cut at this particular point. So that means these 2 lines are actually have one common point. So this type of lines are called as intersecting lines. So how will I write it? 2 different lines intersect at one given point. These lines are called as intersecting lines. All right, done. Let us understand the next topic, which is called as parallel lines. So parallel lines means what? Again, 2 lines, but there is no common point which is being there. And if you just observe the gap between each and every point, the gap should be same. Gap means what? Let's just see. Let's say this is one line, there is another line. So here in each and every point, if you just observe it carefully, here in each and every point, this gap I am talking about, this gap are absolutely same at each and every point. Let's say if I just compare from this part to this part, the gap is exactly same as compared to this part and this part. So that means these type of lines are called as parallel lines. So what will be the definition of this parallel lines? If two or more lines in a plane do not intersect each other, if 2 or more lines, for example this one, 2 or more lines in a plane, 2 lines in a plane do not intersect each other, however if they extend, are called as parallel lines are called as parallel lines. As simple as that. And after that, what is called as concurrent line? What are called as concurrent lines? Concurrent lines means what? You have one given point, let's say there is one given point, and after that, in the first example, in the first point, what exactly I just told, that in a given point infinite lines can be drawn from a given point. If you have one given point, infinite lines can be drawn. But if you just observe it carefully, these lines are having one common point. This is this point particularly, right? So that type of lines are called as concurrent lines. So that means if more than two lines have one common point while intersecting, this type of lines are called as concurrent lines. This type of lines are called as concurrent lines. So that's about this concepts before doing the exercise. So what do we understand? Before starting off, let's just quickly summarize all such things. First of all, we understand about what exactly geometry is. Later on, we will have focused on plane surfaces. What does plane surface mean? This type of surface, right? So what does plane surface means? Plane surface means what? Every solid has surface which may be flat or curved. So what exactly it is? This surface may be smooth or it may be rough. So that means when I am talking about this particular surface, this is called as plane surface. Why it is called as plane surface? Because there is no curve which is being seen. So if I am talking about, let's say, my hand, and if I just tilt, so that exactly creating one curve part. So that is called as curved surface, and this is called as plane surface. And later on we have understood about what exactly smooth surface or rough surface means. After that we have focused on point, what exactly point is, and later on what is that? That is called as collinear points. After that we have understood about line segment, ray, and after that the relation part between lines and points, and later on we have understood about what exactly intersecting lines, parallel lines, and concurrent lines mean. So after actually understanding all such concepts, so let's just move on to our exercise, that is exercise 4A. Alright, so let's just start our exercise by looking at question number 1. Study figure 1 and answer the following. Name the 3 points, name the 3 line segments. Here the given figure, it is our given figure, and what is the first point over there? That is the name the 3 points. So we know how to identify the points. That is the first, second, and third. A is the first point, B is the second point, and C is the third point. So how will I write it? By looking at by writing solution over here and 1. The 3 points are A, B, C. I hope it is clear. After that the next question is name the 3 line segments. So we know what is the definition of line segment. Line segment means what? Where it is a part of line where there are 2 end points. So let's just quickly watch the figure very carefully. Here this is one point, this is another point, so that means 2 end points are there. So AB will be our first line segment. So AB is the first line segment, and you just put one bar over here, right? So this bar, or you can say this short mark is actually denoting the line segment. Later on, the next will be, if you see this and this, two endpoints are there, so that means BC will be the next line segment. And last but not the least, if you observe the last, this is the first point and the last point. Here also two endpoints are there, so that means this is called as A and C, and that is a gap which is being created, or you can say the connecting points are A and C. There is a bridge, right? So that means how will I write it? A and C. You can write also C and A, both are same, right? If you just write instead of BC, you can write CB. In that case, it is also same, right? So that means AC will be our next line segment. So how to write the line segments? Just looking at how many endpoints are there and the name which is being assigned for that particular endpoints, or just write down like that way and put one mark that is actually denoting the line segment. So I hope that question number 1 is clear to you. So let's just move on to our next question, which is question number 3. So now let's just move on to our next question, that is how many line segments are there in figure 3. So this is the figure which is given, and now we have to calculate how many line segments are there, and we know how to actually identify the line segment by looking at only what? The endpoints. It's very simple. So number of, the solution will be look like number of line segments formed. So let's just quickly name that line segment. So first one will be observing this part, A and B, 2 points are there, 2 given points are there, so that means that will be the first line segment. And after that, BC, 2 endpoints are there, then CD, then DE. Right? And after that, A and C, 2 points are there, A and C, so that means AC. Then what will be? BD, then CE. Make sure you just maintain the order, because after doing the sum you can actually observe, if you just do it haphazardly, you can actually observe after finishing the work, you just actually observe that some line segments were missing. So don't forget to maintain the order. So here CE will be the last part, and after that let's just move on. How will I actually found that what will be the order? Let's say first we just take 2, 2, which is just adjacent points. Adjacent means nearby points. A and B nearby points, B and C nearby points, C and D nearby points, D and E nearby points. After that, what I just do, skipping that nearby points and move on to the next part. So that means between 2 points there should lie 1 point. So here AC, in between AC there is B, in between BD there is C, in between CE there is D. I hope you got it. After that we will move on to the next part, where in between 2 different points, in between the 2 points there should lie 2 points. A and D, here B and C are the 2 points which is between, which is between A and D. So that means AD will be the first part, and then BE will be the next part. Right? Is it clear? Okay, fine. So how many line segments right now we have formed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 9. Last but not the least, the last point, that is A and E. A and E, in between A and E 3 points are there, so that will be the last one. So total we got how many line segments? Total we got 10 line segments. I hope you got the trick to actually find out how to calculate how many line segments will be there, and as well as how to maintain the order. So let's just move on to the last question of today's video, that is question number 5. Alright, so let's just understand the last question of today's video, that is question number 5. In figure 5, name, first question is 4 line segments, and after that 5 rays, and the last question is non-intersecting line segments. So let's just understand what exactly the first question is and how to do it. 4 line segments. So 4 line segment means we know that 2 endpoints should be there. So that means if you just observe in this particular figure, that is A and C are the first line segment, and after that A and B will be the second, and let's say C and D and BD. So that means 4 line segments could be like first part, that is AC, AB, BD and CD. Done. After that, move on to the next part, that is 5 rays. So what do you mean by ray? Ray means what? Here one point will be fixed, and from the opposite end it will keep moving. If you just fix the point, so that means it can move from this side also, or later on if I just fix this particular point, it will move on to the left side also. So by observing the figure, we can actually understand that AP, here P is actually moving toward that side, because they have fixed this point P to actually denote a ray. It is not actually the point of line segment. Make sure it is not at all the point of line segment, because to actually write down the ray, we need one another point. So for that part, let me just give you one example. Let's say if I just give one line, so how to write that line in this particular form? How to write it? If I just denote point A and B, so at least I have to give certain name to this particular line, to actually write down in the answer script. Because if I just make one figure, it cannot actually resonates the thing. So that's why they have put P in like this position. So it doesn't mean that this AP is a line segment. I hope now this concept of ray or line is much more clear to you. So that means if I just want to write down here what exactly AB is, so AB could be line. If I just in the above position, if I just put one mark like that way, and AB could be one line segment also, if I just put this particular mark. So like that way, I just want to add one point over here. If I just write AP like AP bar, so that means it actually resonates the line segment. So if I just put AP as this by putting this mark, so that means it is actually telling us that AP is a ray. I hope it is clear. So like that way, find out AP is the first ray, like that way CQ will be the second ray, third one will be BR, fourth one will be DS. So what will be the fifth one? Let's say if you just fix one point over here C, and if it will keep moving towards this side, so let's say CP will be the another ray. You can take C, let's say which one you can take, let's say DR will be the another ray, let's say BS will be another ray, and yes, like that way. Okay, so that means I put CP as my fifth ray, because I have to write down 5 rays down the line. After that, let's just move on to the last part, that is non-intersecting line segments. So what does intersecting line segment mean? Intersecting line segment means what? 2 line segment this one line segment and another line segment which actually have one common point. Let's say this is the common point. So here non-intersecting line segment means what? There should not be any common point. For let's say this could be one figure. There is no common point between these two particular line segments. So how to find out in this particular figure? Let's say AC and BD. Two line segments are there. Is there any common point? Is there any common point? Not at all. So that means I can write AC and BD is the first pair of line segment, and later on put one comma. AB and CD and AB will be the another pair of line segments which are not intersecting. So I hope that the concept of this particular chapter is clear to you, and later on we will do certain more questions in the next coming videos as well. All right, so I hope that you can able to find out the rays and line segment, and I have explained it very clearly that if you just put the marks on the basis this mark, not 1 2 3 4, all right, this marks on the basis of that the meaning will be completely changed. All right, so see you in the next video and thank you.